Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Zoe. I'm a mama of one. I have a 5-month-old little boy and his name is Nathaniel. I thought I'd start creating some videos just to share some of my tips and knowledge and things I've learned along the way, just being a mom and parenthood. And I know how hard it is being a first-time mom, so I really hope that these tips can help you and encourage you in your journey. So if you do enjoy this video, please hit subscribe and click the notification button so that you get notified every time I make a video. So today's video is going to be on napping. So I thought I'd share some tips on how to encourage good long naps. These are just things that I've learnt along the way and things that I've tried with my son that have worked. If it doesn't work for your child though, by no means you're doing anything wrong. It's just probably that you have a different child to mine, and that's okay. You have to do what works. But I thought I'd share these tips because these things that I do work really well. Now before I get into it, I do want to have a quick disclaimer that I'm in no way a sleep expert. I'm not a sleep consultant or anything like that. So if you do have main issues with sleeping, please go and speak to a sleep expert. Now we'll jump straight into the main points. So I have 3 main points that I want to share. The first one that can encourage your baby to have good, healthy, long naps is awake periods. The second one is routine. And the third one is a good sleeping environment. So we'll jump straight into the first one. So awake periods are the biggest thing with napping. You really need to be on top of their awake periods. Now, how do you get to the calculation of the awake period? Because that can be really tricky. You have to get it just right, and even if it's out by 15 minutes, it can really affect them. And you don't want to put your baby down when they're undertired or if they're overtired, because it's just going to take them so long to settle. So what I did is I jumped online and I had a look at a few different sleep schedules, just different websites. I don't endorse any one website. They all show different ranges for a child's age. And so I just looked at my child's age and had a look at the different schedules out there and played around with that until I found something that works. And do just know that in the first 6 months it changes so much. After that it does get a little bit better, but you do need to be on top of their awake period. So you need to find out what works for your child. So I'd recommend playing around with the ranges and seeing what works and then sticking to that. And then if you're finding that you're having issues again, go and have a look at the awake periods again and see, do you need to update it? Do you need to drop a nap? Because that's really important as they grow up, as they age. Each month it just changes so fast. So I recently changed my little boy's schedule. He's just turned 5 months and I'm probably going to change it again soon because he's always been ahead of development. So I think he'll probably be on the 6-month schedule very soon as well. So at the moment, his awake periods are around 2 to 2.5 hours, and that's what we stick to, and it's working really well. Now, a few weeks ago, I did find that he was refusing a lot of his naps, and his naps were short and they were all over the place. And I found that I believe he was also on 4 sleeps a day. Now he's only on 3, and that's working really well for him. And so that was a few weeks there where it was just really terrible. And so what I did was I looked online, found the range of awake periods for his age, and then I started to apply that till I found that this new schedule that we're on is working really well, and he doesn't refuse his naps anymore. He has nice long naps and it's just working. So what we do is in the morning he wakes up and then he has a 2-hour wake period before his first nap. I put him down. His next 2 naps are 2 hours and 15 minutes of awake time. And then the time between the last nap and bedtime is between 2 and 2.5 hours. But do know that throughout the day I do also listen to his sleep cues. So if he's crying and he wants to be put down and I can tell that he's tired, I will put him down. I won't make him wait, 10 or 15 minutes extra if that's our schedule. I do still listen to my baby. And if I see that he just doesn't seem tired at all, maybe I'll stretch it out by, 10 or 15 minutes and see how he goes. And that just works really well for us. So if your baby is refusing a lot of naps when you're putting them down, maybe they're just ready for the next sleep schedule. So do have a look at the age appropriate schedule for your baby, and then play around with that until you find what works, because every baby's a bit different, and some you'll find will be able to handle much longer awake periods, and they might not need as many naps because they want to nap. They want to have big naps. Whereas another baby might not handle very long and they want to have lots of smaller naps. So listen to your baby, see what works, and then apply that. The second tip that I want to give you today that will help encourage good, long, healthy naps for your baby, it's also very important, is routine. I know that sounds really simple, and I know that most parents do have some sort of routine, but it is really important, and you do have to be so consistent with the baby. So they need to know what's coming up next. For a nap, you really would just want a simple routine. You don't want it taking a very long time. You probably want 15-20 minutes max. You don't want any longer than that, because it'll just take up your whole awake period. So it can be something as simple as changing their nappy, singing them a song, or reading them a book. But just know that whatever you do, you have to do it every single time. So do be happy with whatever you're choosing, and that's why you should stick to a small nap routine so it doesn't take too long. So what I do is I've just started this new routine the last few weeks, and it seems to work really well for my son. So I start by changing his nappy. It's not part of our routine because I do have to change his nappy at some point in his awake period, and I've started to do so at the end because I find it's a really good bridge between playtime and nap time. So we change his nappy, and that just helps to settle him instead of going straight from toys to sleep. And I give him his dummy, which helps to calm him, and once he's all dry and clean, I take him into the room and I get the room ready, and he sees me doing that. So that's a part of the routine. He sees me get the air on, he sees me close up the room so it gets nice and dark, and I turn on the white noise, I turn on the monitor, and then I lay him down and I sing to him Twinkle Twinkle Little Star with all the hand movements. He loves it, and he knows now, because I've been doing it for a while, that by the time I finish singing that song, he just gets so drowsy because he knows that nap is coming. So I finish singing it, and then what I do is actually kiss him on both cheeks, and I tell him, "Good night, Nathaniel, I love you," and then I feed him. So I still do feed to sleep, and I'll probably create a whole new video on feeding to sleep because that's a whole another topic. So I feed him, and then I will usually give him the dummy if he still needs to settle a little bit, and I just close the door and walk away. And that's all I do. And then for bedtime, it's very similar to that, but we add in a sleep sack. So I put him in his sleep sack for nighttime sleep, and I also give him a bath before I start any of that. And that's it. It's really quite simple. It really doesn't take me very long. I allow 15 minutes just in case it takes him a bit longer to settle, because I don't like him to get overtired. And often he does fall asleep well before that 15 minutes that I allow at the end of the awake period. So if you haven't already created a schedule or routine for your baby's naps, I do recommend trying it and doing it consistently. So you have to do the exact same thing every time. Now you can create this for a newborn, but newborn doesn't quite get it at that age. But from the 4 to 5 month olds age, they do start to get it. So it can be handy to start creating some sort of routine for a newborn, and then just continuing that as they get older. Now the third tip that I want to give you that can help to encourage good, healthy, long naps in your child is the sleep environment. So environment is still very important. So you don't want to put them in a bright room with, lots of sounds that aren't white sounds. And that's, maybe it's really hot or way too cold. You really just want it just right. So what I do is I close up the whole room, and I've just used a blanket actually. We don't have blackout blinds, but I've just put up a black blanket over our window, and that helps to get rid of all of the sunlight. So you can't make it pitch black, but that's a good thing. You want them to know it's daytime. So I put that up, make it really dark, close all the doors. I turn the air on so it's nice and cool for him. and I keep that controlled so I know that it's not going to get too hot or too cold, and I put white noise on. And the white noise actually helps to drown out all the sounds in the house. If you're, doing housework or you have people over and you're talking, it just helps to drown out that so they're not distracted. And once they get over that 4-month age, we all know that babies get really distracted, so you really want to create a calming environment for them that they can just fall asleep in and relax in. Now, white noise is also really important for helping them get into the next sleep phase. So when they go in between their sleep cycles, they need to know how to fall back asleep. And now I've read that if they fall asleep with a certain sound and then they wake up, after 40-45 minutes, when their sleep cycle ends, they hear that same familiar sound and it really calms them. And they know that they're in a safe environment and they will drift back off to sleep. So that white noise can be really handy. Now you can go out and get a white noise or sound machine. What we've done is we just use a tablet, like a laptop, and we play Spotify. So I found this really great playlist and it just plays white noise. There's a whole bunch of different songs you can choose. They're all white noise songs, and I usually play the rain sounds or the thunderstorm sounds. I find that that is really nice for Nate, and I've even fallen asleep to it as well. It's very calming. And then when it does rain, Nate sleeps really well because he's so used to that sound. So I will link that Spotify playlist below, and that's something you can try out if you don't want to go out and buy a white noise machine separately. And then that's it for environment. So you just want a dark, cool room that's loud, but the right type of loud. So you want the white loud. So those are my 3 main tips for creating good, healthy, long naps in your baby. They're really simple. If you're having issues, please try them. I really hope they can work for you. Try changing the environment, try adding a routine in, and really be on top of their awake periods, and of course always be updating them. If they're starting to refuse naps all of a sudden, then it could just be that they need an updated sleep schedule. But also know that you can do all these things, buy all the right sleep aids and do all the right things, but it's just not enough on some days because they're teething or they're going through something, they're learning a new skill, and that's all going to affect their sleep. And that's okay. You just have to get through it, still stick to your routine and everything that you do, and hopefully it does get better for you. So I hope you liked my video today. Please hit subscribe if you want to listen to more videos similar to this one. Thanks, guys.